You cannot explain it to anyone. On paper, everything looks fine. You have a job, you're good at it. Your team is functioning, the numbers are acceptable, but something is it's weighing heavy on you. You can't put your finger on it, but you know that something is wrong. And the fact that you can't explain it to anyone sometimes make it feels worse, like you're making up things in your head. If someone asked you right now what is wrong, you would not know what to say because nothing is technically wrong. And yet you wake up tired. You go to bed tired. The weekend, it has not reached, but you're tired. Vacation can't fix it. And somewhere in the quiet moments, when you're driving to work or you're laying down at 2 a.m., you find yourself wondering if this is just leadership or is this what I signed up for? And today, I want to tell you what it is. I want to tell you exactly what it is. And the most dangerous kind of depletion in leadership is it's the fact that this kind does not really have a diagnosis. It's not obvious. And when you're overworked, when the hours are too long, or you have so many things to do, you stay back after work, you go in early, at least you can point to something why you're tired. But the concrete problem with this is that it is depleting you and it is dangerous. And I have worked where you are. I have been there where technically I am overworked and I am drained. The hours were reasonable, if I should say the least. I had my own list. They were not inhumane. It was humanly possible. And yet I was exhausted in a way that even when I went to bed, it wasn't touching it. And when you're now carrying work home, it's that weight. And those are completely two different things. You're carrying work home and that excess weight. It's like workload is living on your calendar. It's like it's in your nervous system. And you want to be able to manage systems better. You want to be able to manage boundaries and prioritize. Weight cannot be managed. Now, when I say it can't be managed, it's because it's not coming from just a numbers list. It's not just coming from being overworked. It's something much harder. It's much harder to quantify, and it's also much harder to address. I want to take a few minutes to talk to us about just the sources that these leadership weight can come from. Now, in my experience of working with mid-level managers, the weight typically comes from three sources, and they almost never get named separately. And I wanted to take some time and go through these with you. Now, the first one I want to talk about is emotional containment. What do I mean? Every day you contain things. You contain reactions to the directives that really don't make sense. You contain frustration. You take these in. You absorb them. The frustration of the team when everyone is missing or persons are missing metrics. You know that level of frustration that you get. The disagreement with certain decisions that are made. You absorb that. And you contain even your own doubt about whether or not you're actually right for the job. Am I in the right place? And I want to tell you that containment is a skill. It is part of what makes you a professional. It's part of what makes you effective. But if you contain the wrong things, then those things really don't disappear. They accumulate. And accumulated emotion needs an outlet. Where do you release these things? If they start attacking you physically you can't sleep, if it's attacking your body, you carry it in your mind, and it is whether or not your body can really take all of that. And I wanted to let you know that it's not healthy. And that's why, as a pressure proof leader, I'm going to give you some tips. All right, let me give you the other two sources now. One of the things that happen is the moral weight. It's what you carry. It's a gap between the leader you want to be and the environment you're in, because you're asked to lead and the culture is asking you to do something else. So there's a conflict. The directives that you get, there's a conversation that is happening, and sometimes you feel hurt when you watch something unfair happen and the organizational position, you cannot say what you actually want to say. It's a gap between the value and the reality. It's not a small thing, and over time it becomes a significant source of strain. It depletes you. The third one is anticipatory pressure, right? This is a weight that has happened. It hasn't happened yet. It's a conversation that you're thinking of. It's how your mind works. It's a what if. It's a dynamic that you're not trained to handle. It's what am I heading into? And leaders who are good at reading situations, and most mid-level managers need help here, right? Because you carry the present and you also anticipate the future. It's that cognitive and yet emotional load, but it's running constantly in the background of everything you do, and you are drained. You're drained, and the advice that you usually get is not working. Here's why. Take a vacation. A vacation can remove you from the environment, but the emotional containment and the moral weight and the anticipatory pressure, it doesn't stay in the office. They come with you on vacation. They sit at the dinner table and they wake you up at 3 a.m. in the morning. You're in the hotel and it's waking you up. So vacation doesn't really address the source. It just changes location. Exercise more. Exercise genuinely release stress, but sometimes it doesn't really address the underlying issue of carrying that moral weight, that emotional weight. If somebody says just leave it at work, you can't always leave it at work. You can't just go home and put it down or leave it in the office and don't carry it with you. It's not an object. It's a state of mind and it's a state of being, and it's the only way to address it is to actually address it and not to pretend that it switches off at 5 p.m. because it doesn't switch off at 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. you go home, but it follows you. So it does follow you home. But now you have the language to address it. For emotional containment, you need to release it. You don't need to suppress it. You have some people that loves writing. You can write things down. If you have somebody that you trust, you can have a conversation with that person. If it is that you need to exercise, you want to practice something intense, create a space, create that mental space where you can release it. The goal is not to stop the container because you need it in a professional setting. The goal is to create a consistent practice that moves you through that process. And for moral weight, acknowledgement. You need to acknowledge it, not necessarily a resolution. You need to acknowledge it, because I want to let you know that some organizational challenges are not solvable by you. It's within the structure, and what you need is not yours to fix. So stop pretending that it's yours to fix. You want to name it. You want to name it to yourself and somebody that you trust. Acknowledge that you are leading in a tension space, in a space that may be high pressure. And you want to make sure that you're honest with yourself and you're honest with your experience as well. When it comes to anticipatory pressure, you need boundaries. You need boundaries around your future thinking. The what ifs it can't always be negative. You want to designate specific times to think through difficult situations. You want to be able to practice, returning to the present and being positive. It's not something that you can just switch off. It is learnable though, right? And in closing, I want to let you know that if leadership has been feeling heavy lately, I hope you now have the language that you can identify what is happening with you. You are not imagining it. You are not being dramatic. You're carrying real things that deserves acknowledgement. Now, I wrote a book. It's a free guide. Let me say I wrote a free guide, and it is for leaders where pressure has started to feel personal. And every week, I want you to come back to this space and let me know what you get. I want you to let me know as well in the comments, what did you get from this video? Because if you have already subscribed, go ahead and share. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and share and let me know in the comments. Also, the free guide, the link is in my bio. Go ahead and grab it or comment. I'm gonna pin the comment and you can get the comment. Leave a comment. And if you're not comfortable leaving a comment, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. This space was created for mid-level managers, and I really want to know which pressure were you carrying. I know you do have a name for that pressure. I also want to let you know that the free guide, it's a free guide for sure. And you're able to, I'm going to pin the link, as I said, in the comments so you can grab it. You can also go to my bio. There's a link there. It's on my Instagram page as well. And I want you to grab that free guide. You'll be on my email list, and I share tips every single week. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one, I'm also available. Just send me an email and we can connect. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day. Bye.